Hi Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope for November 2024. Thanks for joining me. My horoscopes are based on the UK time zone, and please watch them in this order: rising sign first, then sun sign, and finally the moon sign. I'm going to break the month into 4 weeks, and I'm going to pay particular attention to the moon and how it moves through your chart so you know where it supports you and on what days. So, week 1, Friday the 1st to Sunday the 10th of November. On the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the moon is in Scorpio, and that's in your third house of communications, perspective, and ideas. So anything that needs problem solving by you paying attention to it, working through it, and coming up with an answer, the first 3 days of the month are going to be really, really helpful with that. Scorpio is about uncovering hidden secrets. So looking at the most complex things in your life that you haven't quite worked out, that presents a certain issue or problem to you, focus on those as much as you can, research, study them, and it's likely that you come up with a solution on your own. And particularly the first of the month is good for that because we have a new moon in Scorpio, and that does happen in your third house of communication and perspective and the way you see things. And Scorpio being a water sign, look at what comes up via your intuition as an answer, and even if on a logical information level it doesn't seem to make sense, consider it because you're likely to find the solution to a problem in a different place than you expected. On the 2nd of November, Mercury, your ruler, it ingresses out of Scorpio in your third house and it goes into Sagittarius in your fourth. So from the 2nd of November, Virgo, I think what's going to come up for you is a desire to belong and to have a place of where am I home and who do I belong to and what do I belong to. So I think from the 2nd, you may go on a mission to find the missing piece of the puzzle. And with the sun in the midheaven being in Scorpio in your third still, I would just encourage you to say, what is it that I'm out there looking for? Aren't there things in life already where I do belong or where I belong to myself? And do I really need to take the focus and put it out there and try and acquire something? Or are there things in my life which I can already be grateful for and which I could adapt and alter so that I have a greater sense of belonging without reinventing the wheel here? So as a Virgo, I'm a sun sign Virgo, right? So I think Virgos have a tendency to believe that by learning as much as you can understand absolutely everything. And if that's the case, then look at the things you've already got rather than the things that are lacking. Okay, interesting. On the 4th and 5th, the moon moves into Sagittarius and it joins Mercury in Sagittarius, now also in your fourth house. So the real thing is, I want to go on an adventure, not only to belong, but to feel like I'm home and I'm in love and I feel like I matter to another person. So if you're a Virgo who's single, it's a great time to go on dates and to look for that. But if you're already in a relationship, I think it's more of a question of perspective. And is it the grass is greener syndrome and I want something new and fresh and different? Or can I look at what I've got already and really just enjoy everything I've already worked so hard for? So you may notice that the first week of this month here is a little unclear for you in terms of should I stay or should I go? I think what's going to tip the scales is on the 4th of November, we've got Mars, the planet of masculinity and drive, that moves out of Cancer in your 11th, where it really encourages you to take care of other people and nurture people. And yourself, I suppose. And with Mars going into Leo in your 12th, it's going to say, hey, really the ambition now from the 4th of November onwards is to have some sort of spiritual understanding and illumination. So I would then say, and let me know what you think in the comments, but I think you have this desire to belong, but it's not to belong via another person, but it's to have a spiritual awakening or an experience which makes you feel that you belong in spiritual truth. And if you ask me, that's the kind of thing that's going to be invaluable because that kind of belonging is eternal and unchangeable. Whereas via other people or even places to live or cultures or languages, those are always changing, right? So if you feel like you're lost and you're on your own and you're on an island, there's an opportunity to really gain all of that by simply tapping into your higher self, which is then going to provide you that sense of warmth that you're looking for. leave it to you, Virgo, to have a very complicated experience. On the 6th and 7th, the moon goes into Capricorn in your 5th. And the moon in Capricorn really says, hey, it's down to you to do the work. And the moon then going through your 5th, I think this whole first 10 days of the month for you is a bit of a head job, because it's going to be like, if you're not happy in your relationships, then it's your fault and you have to work even harder. And in my experience, that's not the case. And again, let me know if you disagree. But I think some relationships just work without much work. And some relationships, you can try so hard to get the other person to be thrilled and happy all the time. And it never happens. And it's just this endless process of work, work, work. And you become almost desperate with it. Like, what else can I do for this to function? So I think for you guys, Virgos, it's a question of, do I believe that my happiness is out there somewhere and I have to acquire it? Or is there a way for me to understand that happiness exists within here? I always have access to it, and that I don't need to do anything for it, really. Then on the 8th and 9th, the moon goes into Aquarius, and it goes into your 6th house of daily routine, physical health, structures, the kind of repetitive things in your life. And the moon in Aquarius is very good at finding other ways of operating, embracing change, new ideas. And again, it's interesting because on the 8th and 9th, the focus now is, how do I restructure my own life so that I'm happier in it? And that's based on the greater understanding around who you are and what matters and what doesn't matter, rather than being on this frantic search to change your whole life around in order to find something that you desperately want to exist. Okay, so the first 10 days of the month here, or yeah, the first 8 or 9 to this point, especially with the 8th of November, when the moon is in its second quarter and waxing and getting bigger, I think by the 8th of November, things will settle down and you'll realize that, hey, I have a lot of control over my experience and that I don't need to acquire anything to be happy. I can be happy now. On the 10th, then, the moon goes into Pisces and it moves into your 7th house of relationships. And again, on this day, you may waver a little bit and say, yes, but I do want to have some sort of experience with another person. And unless I have that, I might be somewhat cranky or dissatisfied. So in these first 10 days of November, the moon makes a very complicated journey from your 3rd house of perspective, and it ends up in your 7th house of relationships. And I really think that encapsulates it nicely. What is really important to me? Is it the relationship with me or other people? And again, let me know what you think. But I think this desperate search for some sort of an experience is an unwillingness to see the self and to embrace the self. And the first 10 days for you, Virgo, an opportunity to give yourself a hug and to say, I love you regardless of how you've been judged by others or myself. And I commit to having a great relationship with you. And I think that you may think this is a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but this is really how I'm seeing your chart. I think that realization then takes so much pressure off you, and any barriers that have been between you and yourself and the ability to love yourself can be taken away in these first 10 days of November. So, between houses 3 and 7, really the focus is the second quadrant, which is houses 4, 5, and 6. And that really is, what is it that I really love about myself, and how can I strengthen that relationship and stop looking outside of myself for completion? Week 2, Monday to Sunday, the 11th to 17th of November. Moon still in Pisces on the 11th and 12th. So those themes will continue. The moon then, on the 11th of November, Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, that moves out of Sagittarius in your 4th, and it goes into Capricorn in your 5th house. So that's a nice shift now, because from the 12th of November, if you're a Virgo who works creatively with flowers or design or embroidery or interior design or gardening or your own physical appearance, Venus in Capricorn is going to allow you to do great creative work. But also she's now going to help you in finding what it is you love to do, what it is you love about yourself, and how you can scaffold that into your life so that it's a consistent, solid structure that you can always tap into. The moon then goes into Aries on the 13th and 14th. These are really good days to complete things that require you to deal with institutions or authorities, the government, the tax people, visa, immigration, corporations, legal staff, mediations, inheritances, probate. If anything like that is still outstanding, you'll be able to do a lot of work on the 13th and 14th and get a really quick result, a quick turnaround. Could also be that if you're selling a house and it's been sitting there for a long time, or you have got some savings and you're not getting any interest on them, that you find a solution on these 2 days, which can mean that you shift something that's like a ball and chain around your leg, or you can really find the solution and make a change financially. On the 15th and 16th, the moon goes into Taurus, and that goes into your 9th house of education and travel in the higher realms. And I think for you, it's going to be quite literal that on the 15th and 16th, you'll have a strong desire to visit new, unfamiliar locations, physical locations. And particularly on the 15th of November, there's a full moon in Taurus, which is in your cousin's kind of sign. Taurus is also an earth sign. But it's also a supermoon, so it's going to be bigger than usual. It's going to have a stronger impact on you. And I think you'll really feel this as I want to travel, I want to be out in nature, and I want to see something different. Like I want to change the wallpaper, right? So allow yourself to do that because I think it will really recharge you. Also on the 15th, Saturn, the planet of structure and security, that goes direct in your 7th house of relationships. So now this sense of, oh, I've got an emptiness within me that I need to fill, I think that starts to dissipate. And you get your own kind of peace of mind back, whether you're in a relationship or not. But the sense of something is lacking goes away. On the 17th, then, the moon goes into Gemini, and it joins Jupiter in your 10th house of work. So it doesn't just go into Gemini on the 17th, it also stays there on the 18th of November, beginning of week 3. So these 2 days, the 17th and 18th, are ideal for you to do great work, to problem solve, to generate a lot of work, to be super prolific. So if you've got a pile of work to do, you'll be able to shift that on those 2 days. And also what's interesting about the 17th of November is that Uranus, the planet of the miraculous and unexpected, that's at the very top of your chart, near the midheaven, in Taurus at 25 degrees. And on the 17th, the sun opposes it, it's fully illuminated, and it's the best night of the year to see Uranus. And it's like this guiding star, especially about your securities, your career, the things that make you feel safe in life. And with the moon and Jupiter sitting nearby, you know, the stuff at the beginning of the month, like what really makes me feel like I belong, I really think that you get a message around that on the 17th, which really gives you a much greater sense of simplicity and direction. So in this second week, the moon goes through your 3rd quadrant pretty much, which is really my connection to the outside world, nature and institutions and other people. And I think week 2 is a time where you can get things into better perspective. There's less confusion and you feel more on top of things. Week 3, Monday to Sunday, the 18th to 24th of November, the moon's in Gemini on the 18th. Then it moves into Cancer on the 19th and 20th, and it goes into your 11th house of hopes and dreams and connections with other people, but in a more informal way. So I think you may hear some good news via a family member or someone you're close to that makes you feel comforted and appreciated and almost rewarded. On the 19th of November, oh, I've got good news for you, Virgo. We've got Pluto entering Aquarius until January 2044. And it moves out of Capricorn in your 5th house of romance and what you love, and now it goes into Aquarius in your 6th house of daily routine of work. I made a video on this at the beginning of the year, Pluto going into Aquarius. So have a look at that video. I go into a lot of detail. But for you guys, Virgo, it means that even what happened at the beginning of November, this sense of I'm lacking something, I need to work harder to get it, that notion of I bear sole responsibility for my happiness goes out the window, and it's replaced by a more openness and a more realistic approach to your circumstances, as in certain things are outside of your control, others are in your control, But regardless, you can go about every day of your life and be happy whether you feel like you've figured it all out or accomplished everything or not. So for you, Virgo, this month is really a huge shift in getting out of survival mode and just getting through the day. And now the pressure really being off, particularly when it relates to what you love to do work-wise and what makes you feel like you're loved via other people and the universe. Okay, so a huge month for Virgo. The moon then stays in Cancer on the 19th and 20th. Yep. On the 21st and 22nd, it goes into Leo and it moves into your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. And these 2 days are really when you have the spiritual realization that I don't need to look outside of myself. I'm enough and I can make peace with that. On the 21st, the sun enters Sagittarius and it goes into your 4th house. And I'm sorry if this is a bit too much now, Virgo. You may think this is a little over the top. But the sun goes into your 4th house of family. And the sun is your conscious identity. It's what you're striving towards. So it's you as your own family and more than enough. So if you're a Virgo who's been single for many, many years and it's always caused you a bit of grief and you want to be able to accept it, this is the month where you can really have that huge shift, like the Hanged Man in the Tarot, where something that was unacceptable and unpleasant, now you see it completely differently. On the 22nd, the moon is in its 4th quarter. It's waning down to being a new moon at the beginning of December. So I think this process of self-acceptance is mainly going to be done by the 22nd. Then on the 23rd and 24th, the moon moves into your sign of Virgo. And this is about settling down and letting all this new info and dynamic integrate into your own being. And I would say the 23rd and 24th is a good 2-day period to go away on your own and to just look at nature and to journal and to write poetry or to paint and to really celebrate the fact that you found back to yourself. So in this 3rd week, the moon goes through quadrant 4 pretty much, houses 10, 11, 12. And that's really about transcending the existing self and replacing it with a more complete one. So the whole thing of week 3, it's kicked off with all this amazing energy in Leo, specifically on the 21st to 22nd. So it's the intervention of your higher self or the higher realms that make this process complete. So don't expect this to be dull or easy, but expect it to really, for you to be able to shift a lot of chronic worries that have been plaguing you for a long time. Finally, week 4, Monday to Saturday, the 25th to 30th of November. On the 25th, the moon is still in Virgo, so that's even another day to take off if possible. On the 25th as well, Mercury, the communication planet, it's your ruler, Virgo, so really significant. That goes into retrograde until the 15th of December. So it makes communication and transportation more challenging. But again, it's in your 4th house of your roots and what makes you feel like you belong. So don't pay too much attention for this ongoing search. Try and complete it before the 25th and get to that moment of, it's okay. And then from the 25th till the 15th of December, try not to play around with that too much and to redefine everything and to overcomplicate it. From the 25th, really try and keep things as simple and as straightforward as you can, because I think you could get muddled. On the 26th and 27th, the moon goes into Libra. And that's really great in terms of your finances. So if you're looking to borrow money, if you're looking to, again, heal something that isn't giving you the result that you're entitled to, shifting things around as far as your finances are concerned, it's a really good opportunity to improve that. And then on the 28th, 29th, and 30th, the moon goes back into Scorpio and it's in your 3rd house of self. And now I think by the end of the month, you get to a sense of completion and recognition that it's like summertime within you whenever you want. You don't need to find anything out there to give you something. So any Virgo that feels like they're not good enough or something's missing and you can't shift that belief, this is the month to really put that to bed once and for all. So in this last week, the moon goes through the 1st house of self, and that's then starting the new journey with this new information in a much greater sense of peace of mind, clarity, and self-respect. So this is really a fabulous month for Virgo. It's so helpful and encouraging and empowering. So I hope it gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website, gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to Audio Reading. And to draw up your chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then order a chart rectification with me, please. That's a process where you send me several life events and I work it out so I can draw up your chart and analyze it. If you have any questions around what's coming up in the future, or places to live, or strengths and weaknesses, anything at all, please do get in touch. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please, so it shows up in searches. Subscribe for more videos. And share the video with people you think may enjoy it. That helps the channel grow. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll speak to you soon.